what to do with your negative thoughts, because that is crucial to manifestation. If you are having a lot of negative thoughts, that is not the problem. The problem and the solution is what you do with these thoughts. And this video is going to be exactly about that. And of course, I'm going to give you a solution so that you can turn the situation around. Welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a manifestation coach. On this channel, I teach the law of assumption as taught by Neville Goddard, while I also keep it simple and practical so that you can take it and apply it to your own manifestations right away. So if that's what you are looking for, you are definitely in the right place. So please subscribe and stay for more. And if you happen to need any additional help with your manifestations, I do offer one-on-one coaching and also group coaching, which is a lot more affordable. And you get the same benefits of coaching and guidance, just with a group of people who are like-minded and who are dealing with the same situation as you. For both, check the link in my description box below. You go directly to my booking page and there you can see everything. If anything, please ask me any question about this in the comments below. My group coachings, or these class coachings, are going to be on the weekends, and the coming weekend it's going to be about mental diet, which is very much in sync with today's topic, because thoughts are part of your mental diet, and mental diet is that thing, or one of those things, that if you master just that, you can manifest anything. Of course, there are many other things to master, which is very interesting and very fascinating and very useful, but if you take something as mental diet that includes so many things, you master that, you can literally manifest anything. So if you're interested in that, definitely check the link in the description box below, and hopefully see you in the weekend. So thoughts are part of your mental diet because thoughts create. Not only thoughts create, though. I don't want to sound like, you know how you watch a video and in that video it sounds like that is the whole truth. It's not. Thoughts are part of your imagination, and imagination is more than your thoughts. But in this video we are going to specifically focus on thoughts. Thoughts are both these fearful stories that come up in your mind that haven't even happened yet, but they are also your focus and dwelling on your current 3D circumstance. Lately, I have been getting a lot of comments under different videos where people are telling me, Anna, but this thing happened with the person and now they told me that they will never want to see me again. Or my doctor said this can't be healed. Or I have had this very difficult situation with this person and now it's all ruined. These are actually negative thoughts. And you may say, wait a minute, but that is actually my real situation. These are physical facts. That's true. But once you start dwelling on it, now that they are your thoughts. And of course, it's not easy to not dwell on it. I'm not going to tell you don't think about it. Just definitely never ignore the problem, especially in your mind. But not thinking about it is not the solution. So don't worry, I'm not going to say that. And before I get to the solution, because we are going to get to the solution. These negative thoughts, what happens when you don't do anything about them is that they are going to come up. That is what I meant when in the beginning of the video when I said that you having negative thoughts is not the problem, because negative thoughts come up based on your programming. Whatever is in your subconscious mind, which means your whole belief system, that generates your conscious thoughts. So when you are having a lot of negative thoughts, fears, or a lot of focus and negative emotional reaction even, That all comes from your programming. That is why I so often mention the subconscious programming, because that determines everything. Also, what happens in your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is not going to think thoughts that aren't already in your subconscious mind. So, and what that does is that it comes up, and these negative stories are so good at convincing you that that's the whole truth and there's nothing to do about it. And it creates a lot of stress and anxiety, making the whole thing even worse. And that reinforces the belief behind the whole thing, and that creates a vicious cycle. And this is how people spiral. And from that place, it can feel like it's impossible to get out of. And also, now the 3D also seems worse. The 3D situation can be really bad, but that also doesn't determine what you can manifest. So, because any manifestation happens from your mind, and everything is a manifestation in and of itself. So the situation that you are in is already a manifestation. So dealing with the situation is like dealing with the symptoms. It's not going to be very helpful, and it's not going to be lasting. What is going to be lasting is changing the story around it, changing what manifested it first, and therefore to work with your, in this case, thoughts. So how you do that is simply, the first thing to do is to decide that you are going to become aware of your thoughts. Because if you are on autopilot all day, that is where your thought is going to come in, convince you that it's really that bad, create another thought that is very similar, create another thought that is very similar, and you get into this vicious cycle, and all of a sudden you have anxiety. It's not always that bad, but that is sort of the cycle. So what I'm trying to say, that I know that not all your manifestations are that dramatic, but some are. So therefore, decide for yourself that you are going to be to pay attention, to be aware of what you are thinking. You can't do this for every second of the day. There are going to be times where you're just doing your thing, your mind is doing its thing. But if you keep reminding yourself that I'm going to really pay attention, you start noticing your thoughts more and more. And especially if you start feeling uncomfortable, that is also a sign that you are thinking thoughts that are not the greatest for you. Because one of the first things that your thoughts are going to manifest is the similar feeling in your body, because your body and mind are going to be in sync. So if the thoughts and the stories are negative, then your feeling is also going to be such. So as soon as you start feeling that something is not quite right, stop. Or be aware that this is what's happening. A crucial thing to do here is to shift focus, but not away from the problem. Don't ignore the problem. What I mean by this is, when you are having a lot of fearful thoughts about a person, it's your relationship or your health, a lot of fearful thoughts about your situation, I don't want you to ignore that and go watch something funny. It's wonderful to have fun and watch something funny, but and I know that this is a solution that is being offered a lot, which is, what you do when you do that is to keep the problem for later. The problem will never disappear by ignoring it. The best thing you can do is to shift focus to a different side of the solution that is favorable, which basically means change the story. Tell it the way you want it to be. Tell it the way you want to experience it. And that can be done in a billion different ways. This is where affirmations come in, for example. So And here, this is the method that you need to figure out how to make it work for you, because it doesn't work for everyone to just go from really bad to affirming really good and feel good about it. Sometimes it stresses you out, so you need to figure out ways to tell the story in a way that doesn't cause more stress than you're already in. What happens here is that since your mind is habituated to this old negative story, it's going to do everything to bring you back to that. And that is where resistance comes in, and that is where a lot of people give up because, oh, this doesn't work, because who am I kidding, because this is the situation, because the person said so. That's a habit. Your beliefs are habits. And those habitual thoughts that have become beliefs have created the situation you are in. So now what you are doing is you are creating new mental habits. Again, thoughts are one way of doing it. You need to, when your mind starts going on and on with these negative stories, negative thoughts, you need to disrupt the momentum. Because that is how you destroy the old habit that isn't doing any good. And by shifting focus to the new story over and over and over, that is where you create a new habit. And this is what it's about. You create a new habit. When you have already thoughts and stories, beliefs about a situation, just thinking it once is not going to make it stick. Your mind is going to do this. Nope, not true, you're not loved. Oh, come on, who are you kidding? You're never going to get there. This is your job to say, wait a minute, that's a negative story. This is okay, I believe this, but I don't have to continue believing this about myself for the rest of my life. Now, this is where a lot of self-concept comes in. Self-concept also determines the nature of your thoughts. So if you're having a lot of negative thoughts, there's a big chance that there's some self-concept going on that also isn't in your favor. I'm not going to go into details about that, but self-concept is in everything. Self-concept not only being self-worth, especially when we are talking about manifestation, and especially if we are talking about Neville Goddard. I have a playlist about self-concept that I'm going to link in the description, so please check that out. I find self-concept to be very important. And this was a quick, simple plan, I guess, to really disrupt the habit of negative thoughts, especially when on autopilot, convincing you that you can't have what you want. You can have what you want, and you can manifest it. It's about what you do with the stories in your mind, and this is just one way of working with it. Again, thoughts are part of your mental diet. Mental diet is something that happens during the whole day, and then the thoughts that you keep thinking on and on, you bring them with you to sleep, and your mind continues working. Your subconscious mind, at least, continues working while you're asleep. So it's so important to control what is going on in your mind. And once again, that is going to be the topic of my class coaching this coming weekend. Please check the link in the description box below if this interests you. Otherwise, I do offer one-on-one coaching if you need help with anything that you're manifesting. And see you in the next video.